Time now for Restoring the Soul of Healthcare from the HELPcare Clinic in Austin.
And we say good morning to Dr. David Strobel and Lee Aase from the HELPcare Clinic. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning,
John. Glad to be with you.
And we're going to kind of continue today on a theme. We've been kind of really pushing the idea that for me, sometimes I think about this as being old school doctrine, if you would, when we talk about the HELPcare Clinic. And that's the kind of feel where you're the most important person in the room next to the doctor, and you're actually hearing or getting heard when you talk about your concerns and not feeling rushed to get out of the room so that the next appointment can get in. And that's kind of at the heart and soul of what you're trying to do here, is get back to that, full-on health care where people feel like they're really getting their needs met.
Yeah, I would just push back a little bit on what you said about being the most important person next to the doctor. And I think Dr. Dave would agree with that, too. That the most
doctor's the second most important person in the room.
Yeah. I mean, the reason we're here is to help the patients, and it's all about them. And as he said before, that the patient's the customer. The patient is the person who it's really all about. And so, what we're about wanting to do here is give people the resources and the tools and the time that they need to be able to get the answers that they're looking for.
And that's what I really love about this, is that people just feel that one-on-one connection, and that's sort of what's been missing. And I'm not knocking healthcare system in general. It is what it is. But this is a way to really get back to where it's all about the one-on-one and the communication.
Yeah, it really is. And so there's some, there on the flip side of it, part of what we're doing is, in addition to giving people the plenty of time with their provider, is to make other information available more generally, so that people can start to kind of get on their own journey themselves and be thinking about what would be most helpful for their health. And that's why we stole the title for the blog post today, Knowledge is Power, from something that you've been saying for the last several weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That's been kind of a theme that's been coming through, that Dr. Dave and I developed the Health, Energy, and Longevity Plan, which is about a 20-page booklet handout. It's kind of a condensation of things that he recommends, that we've learned through our healthcare journey and through our personal health journey that my wife Lisa and I have been on. And so what it is it's kind of a distillation of the things that we've heard from Dr. Dave, and also then what we've learned from others. And for those who are interested in just getting started, and so what do I do? That's a resource that we make available for free for anybody to download. They can go get it from our website, whether they become a member at HELPcare Clinic or not. But then the other thing we wanted to highlight today is that we have a lending library at HELPcare Clinic. So just like we're not a weight loss clinic, we're also not the public library, but we do make books available. Some of the things for people who want to really dig in and learn more themselves and really better understand some of these metabolic health issues. We've got a lending library, and then also an Amazon Associates library, a place where people can go if they want to get their own copies of these books. Because typically we have 5 to 6 copies of some of them, and they seem to always be checked out, or a whole bunch of them are checked out anyway. Right. And so for lots of people, they want to be able to take time and underline and really, really dig in.
And we've had people that are, I've had folks that have checked out one book or another, and then they have talked to me and they've said, I really want to underline stuff and highlight things. And I'm like, well, go ahead and do that. But when you do that, would you just agree to buy us a new copy and bring that one back, and you keep the one that you borrowed, or buy your own new copy, whatever you'd like to do. So we've had people do that as well.
Well, and I don't want to make it oversimplified, but really what you're looking at is when people come in, I mean, I like to know if something's wrong. I want to know that something's wrong, but it's more about really finding out not just what's wrong, but why. And the why is the journey to find out what can we do to fix it.
Exactly. Finding out finding out that things are wrong, sometimes is all that we can do. In other words, if we find out that something is wrong and there's kind of nothing we can do about it because a problem has gone too far, and maybe it could have been caught earlier, maybe it couldn't have. Sometimes just bad stuff happens. But in general, a lot of the things that go wrong with us, there's a long period of time that you could do something about it. And if nobody tells you that it's wrong, well, then you're just the frog gradually boiling in the kettle. Rather than pointing out, did you notice that the water temperature is going up here? You might want to do something about that. And so that's kind of what I do. And I spend a lot of time with patients just going over their lab tests and saying, well, you see this normal test result? It's actually not very good. It's normal, but it's not good. So let's get on this and try working on things ahead of time. And I'm not the only authority that has talked about this at all. And everything that we say basically has been borrowed from the reading that I've done, the reading that Lee has done, our experience, some of it from my original education, although most of that doesn't apply really anymore. It's been so long. So we're not doing anything really special that nobody else is doing. But it does seem to be kind of unique, or I shouldn't say that, but certainly out of the ordinary.
Checklist of what might be wrong and send you on your way, where you can really delve in a little deeper and peel back the layers of the onion and get to what's going on.
Right. I've said for quite a long time that, it's really not difficult to practice family medicine with 10 and 15-minute visits. It's not difficult at all. It's actually impossible. Okay, so if you just can't do that. Okay, but because a lot of a visit, especially if somebody is new, a lot of a visit is the patient, the client, the customer, trying to figure out whether they even trust you yet. And, by the time they trust you, if that ever happens, now the visit's all done. And so the short visits basically turn personal, sensitive, kind of embarrassing issues that people don't want to share right away into just a vending machine out in public. And they don't want to do that.
Wow. I was almost thinking it's almost like dating in a way.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds weird, but you know what I mean. It's getting that trust of communication.
Yeah, it's not speed dating. I mean, speed dating isn't how you build a lasting relationship. You can maybe get introduced to somebody, but having the time to really, get to have a doctor or other provider who knows you and who you know, and you have that level of trust. And then, as Dr. Dave says, you can talk about some of those things that are maybe kind of embarrassing that you otherwise wouldn't want to talk about, but they're the thing that's really bothering you. But until you really feel like you've got somebody you can trust, you don't feel safe, discussing it.
And it's the type of things you need to talk about to really get at what's going on.
Right.
Oftentimes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And I like the idea. I mean, I didn't think of having a lending library. That was Lee's idea. Maybe it was Lisa's idea. I don't know who came up with it, but it really is a good idea. And that way people have resources that they can take home and look at things. And that's why we have our learning modules on the website. Even people that aren't members, they can just register on the website for free, and they can watch me talking if that doesn't bore them out of their head. But, they can watch these videos, and then if they are puzzled about something, well, they can pause it, think about it, maybe do some reading, maybe do some Google searching or something like that, and then they can come back and watch it again and think, oh, that's what that means. So, or we can talk about it by a telephone visit or an in-person visit if they're a member here. So we want this to be kind of an ongoing experience of increasing knowledge, as much as people are interested in.
Mm-hmm. Our time always goes by way too fast. Lee, for people who are more interested in either the HELPcare Clinic and membership, or even want to find out more about the lending library or the resources you have on your website, how can they get a hold of you and find out more?
Yeah, well, first we'd encourage them to go to HELPcare.health, which is our website, and the leading post there today is Knowledge is Power, and talks about some of the things that we've talked about today. So they can explore some of that for themselves, and as you mentioned, the learning modules featuring Dr. Strobel. Secondly, we just invite them to come down and take a look. If they come to 308 4th Avenue Northwest, we're a block east of St. Augustine's, and we are, open 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, or 8 to noon on Saturday. And you just kind of need to see it for yourself and see what the environment's like, and that it is a warm and friendly and welcoming, personal sort of environment. Or they can give us a call at 279-2345, and we'd be happy to give them some more details about what we have to offer.
I look forward every Thursday to our conversations because I'm learning by association, I think, sometimes. But always great to hear from both of you. We do hope you have a fantastic week, and we'll talk to you next Thursday.
Thank you very much. You have a blessed day, John.
All right. Thank you very much. You too.